I'm aiming to 100% every game in my Steam library. I play a wide variety of games, and earning every achievement makes me feel like I've gotten the most out of the game and the most bang for my buck. Today, I'm grabbing all the achievements for Scars Above is a sci-fi action-adventure game developed by Madhead Games and published by Prime Matter. We play as Kate Ward, a member of SCARS, the Sentient Contact Assessment and Response Team. Earth has received a transmission from some sort of alien life, and it's our job to investigate and make contact. With a focus on elemental combat and puzzles, we must traverse a new land and figure out what's going on. With 45 achievements up for grabs, let's get into the grind. The game starts off with the SCARS team heading toward a giant space pyramid called the Metahedron. Being informed that there's a problem, we head to join the team. We meet up with Mike and need to help him with the scanning process. Devising a plan, we head to the next room and find the welder. This will become our best friend throughout the whole game. There isn't a variety of weapons to find, but instead a variety of upgrades and attachments to craft to the welder, making it a jack-of-all-trades weapon. Once finding the welder, we do a bit of crafting with it and create the Vera, popping the Construction Work achievement for doing so. With the Vera assembled with electrical charge, we head to the lower deck to repair one of the systems to help with the scanning process. Once done, we make our way to the bridge. Linking up with the group, Commander Robinson does his best at a motivational speech before we initiate the scan. Before we're able to scan, the Metahedron knocks our power and pulls us into it using a gravity well or something. Coming to on a new planet, we must make it back to the team. There's a hologram of some sort of alien lady guiding us down the path as we run through the game's tutorial. Once down the trail a bit, we crest a hill and pop the Beyond the Horizon achievement for discovering the Metahedron Vista. Moving forward, the hologram lady leads us to a field with a pillar. Upon touching the pillar, a storm breaks out. We start seeing visions of beasts and tall shadow figures. Then we snap to in a new location and pop the He Ruined Us achievement for weathering the storm. Standing next to a new pillar, we're able to interact with it, and these act as a save point, kind of like a bonfire in Dark Souls. Resting here will replenish our health, ammo, and save the game, but it will also respawn any enemies we've eliminated along the way. Here, we find a backpack and a cutter tool we can use to move forward. Once cutting our way through some vines, the first enemy appears. We take it out and get the prompt to scan it. Scanning is a large part of the game, and once finished scanning, the Darwin's Theory achievement pops for scanning our first hostile creature. Around the corner, we approach this electrical flower and get the Aristotle's Apprentice achievement for scanning our first natural resource. Just past the flower, we hack through some more vines and find the Vera. Making our way back, an enemy pops out of the water, and shooting it pops the Newton's Third Law achievement for causing an elemental reaction. The environment comes into play during the combat a lot because certain elemental ammo reacts to environmental factors, providing additional damage, like electricity and water. We've barely started the game and have already unlocked a good handful of Chieves, but we're not done yet. Bear with me. Making our way past the gate, we head forward and stumble upon this little floating cube. Scanning it gets us the Knowledge is Power achievement. These cubes are very important to the grind. Finding these gains knowledge, which we can use to unlock skills throughout the game. We will need to unlock all skills for an achievement later on, so a lot of time was spent searching each and every corner for these little cubes. Just past the cube is another pillar. Touching it pops the Pillars of Earth Chief for activating our first pillar. Next to the pillar is this weird fleshy mucus gate we have to get past. Heading down a side path, we stumble on a little table with an upgrade for the Vera. We're able to craft the Thermic Charger, allowing us to shoot fire from our weapon now as well. Crafting this pops the Destructive Tool Printing achievement. The fire ammo allows us to shoot the weird nodes on the flesh gate and make our way through. Around the corner from here, we scan another knowledge cube, earning our first skill point. Spending it earns us the Ready Enable Achieve for unlocking our first ability. Seemingly another 10 feet away from here, we find this little light post thing and loot it, popping the Survivor achievement for crafting our first consumable. I didn't craft anything, but alright game, pop off. Now we get a whopping 13 minutes before our next Chief. This time is just spent making forward progress and taking in the environment. Enemies are scattered about, so we hone our combat skills a little as well, but it doesn't take long before we find Richard's backpack lying on the ground. Scanning it reveals a search area. Scanning various things within the area earns us the body must be cleansed achievement pop. Okay, so now that we got 12 achievements in the first hour and the intros out of the way, I feel it's a good time to tell you that I did not care for this game. I tried to give it time to cook and let it pick up during the first half, but eventually I lost the plot of the story and everything went off the rails for me. I just did not care about keeping up with it and investing in a story that didn't hit for me. I'll speak more about my thoughts and feelings at the end, but golly did this game absolutely miss for me. Anyway, we must now track down Richard, but we need to figure out a way to pass over the polluted water to reach him. Making our way past some new beefier enemies, we end up finding this weird alien pod thing attached to a wall. We scan its organs to figure out how it works, collect a sample, and craft the ice upgrade for our weapon. We can use this to freeze the bad water and use the ice's platforms to make it across. While making our way back to the search area, we run into the first boss. With the standard enemies being easy to take out, this was the first real challenge of the game. I passed away a few times facing the boss as I was learning the attack patterns and dealing with the extremely dog shit hitboxes this game has. Eventually though, we best the boss and earned the Alpha achievement for defeating the Alpha. With the boss down, we're able to scan it and craft a new item, and when doing so, the Improvise, Adapt, Overcome achievement pops. The gadget we crafted was a personal shield. We can use this to cover our body and stop incoming damage in a pinch. I'm only explaining this gadget because it will come into play later on. Using the ice to make our way across the water, we find another light post thing. Interacting with it pops the Master Survivor achievement for crafting all consumables. Okay. Yet again, I didn't craft anything here. I simply picked it up as loot, so I don't know what the game is on about with all this for real. Also, we're sub 90 minutes into the game, and I've already gathered all of the consumables? That seems a little strange and way too premature, having a total of just over an 8-hour playtime for the whole experience. But, I digress. I came to a point where I had to fight 2 big dudes at the same time, and while doing so, I ended up killing one of them while they were frozen from the ice I shot them with and popped the Shattered achievement for that. Along with the normal scan of creatures and plant matter, we have a pulse scan which can be used during combat to highlight weak points on the enemies to help you figure out how to take it down more efficiently. Crossing the little pond, we run into this slimy tentacle blob thing and use the pulse scan to pop the real-time analysis achievement. From here, we head around and find some little pyramid blocks to place on this pedestal thing, and when we line them up correctly with the right symbols, we pop the Putting Together the Initial Pieces achievement for solving the console puzzle. Once the puzzle is complete, a new path opens up. Traveling up the path, we find another little crafting table and use it to craft our first weapon upgrade to earn the Tinkerer achievement. Shortly after this, we made our way through the storm a bit more, slow walking the whole way to pad the time and find ourselves another pillar. We pop the Pillars Everywhere achievement for activating our 5th pillar. Up the hill from here, we find Robinson at the top. When he's turned around, it's revealed that he's being transformed into this grotesque, drippy creature. Then a giant deer god pops out and a boss battle begins. This is the Alluvial King. The fight wasn't terrible and we take it down with ease on our first try. After a little cutscene plays, the Fear Keeps You Sharp achievement pops. We end up wandering through a cave and on the other side, the Blades of Grass achievement pops for finding the grassy plains. We do a little looting here and gather some knowledge cubes and walk up to these crates. A very short cutscene plays where we pick up this little plushie. After it ends, the Lost Scientist achievement pops for finding Mr. Jefferson. Now don't get me wrong, I love Achieve Pop, but this was just a gimme. About half the achievements in this game don't require you to do anything special. I get a chapter achievement, I get a story related achieve, but sometimes it felt like they didn't know what to do for the achievement list. This is something I would rather have had to find on my own, like unlocking a door with a key card that I found to find Mr. Jefferson, or reading a note that tells me the location where it's at. But no, I found it in a cutscene. This game pisses me off in the weirdest way. There's another cave system to navigate, and on the other side is a large clearing. We're introduced to some new enemies, and while fighting them, I threw a flammable liquid charge down and lit 2 enemies on fire at once, earning the Caution Flammable achievement. Every time we acquire a new gadget, we get a little tutorial to show us how it works. When finding the Hollow Lure gadget, we enter the tutorial for it. This is essentially a decoy that draws enemy aggro. While learning how to use it, we kill the practice enemy and end up popping the Baited achievement for killing an enemy that was duped by the Hollow Lure. Again, I don't think I should have got the achieve in the forced tutorial showing me how the gadget works. Kinda stinky ass, if you ask me. Traveling a long distance forward, we end up coming across the wreckage of the Hermes, our ship we were in at the beginning. Walking up to it, we get the Fallen Deity achievement pop. Okay. Let me just give you a rundown of what I actually picked up from this game and the story. And if I'm wrong about what little info I'm giving you, cool. That's fine. I was lost and half paying attention for most of it once I checked out. So, we are Scar's team and we crashed on an alien planet. The hologram lady is a friend to us and she leads us through the game so we can discover the truth. Turns out, Hollow Lady is dead, I think. The big bad of the whole game is the Custodian. The reason aliens made contact with Earth is to take humans and infect them with something that turns them into creatures. The creatures we've been fighting the whole time. Turns out, Hollow Lady and her people were wiped out, and the creatures I've been killing the whole time are her friends and loved ones. And just her people as a whole. So since we crash landed here, my crew is being rounded up and transformed into creatures, and I must fight back and stop that from happening. Caught up? Okay. Good. Moving on. At this point in the game, I spent a lot more time scouring every corner in search of more knowledge cubes. The achievement for purchasing every ability was worrying me. Here's how the ability points work. There's 4 tiers with varying costs. Tier 1 costs 1 point to purchase, Tier 2 costs 2, and so on. However, in order to go up a tier, you need to purchase 3 of the abilities in the previous tier. So I hoarded a lot of points to make my way up and knock out the Tier 4s as soon as I could. I really didn't want to do a second playthrough just to focus on those. Or at all even, for that matter. Since picking up our last gadget, we acquired another one. We found a gravity trap. This creates a bubble that slows down whatever is inside. Throwing this down on a small enemy during a fight and kiting it around inside the bubble earns us the Trapped achievement for keeping an enemy within the trap for its whole duration. While fighting a group of flowery enemies in the next section, I was really low on HP, so I popped the shield gadget that I told you would be important earlier. Using the shield to stop incoming damage that would have killed me pops the Final Destination achievement. Eventually, we make our way to this little frozen lake area. Here, we run into a large robot scorpion-looking boss. I will give the game this W. I actually really enjoyed this boss fight. I had a lot of fun fighting this one, and it required me to use many different things during the scuffle to take it down. After we best the boss, we pop the Deconstructed achievement for defeating the Construct. After this, we head to the most poop-ass area of the game. This large facility of sorts requires us to swap keys in and out of slots throughout to activate the elevators for us to use to make it through the structure. I hated this section, and I thought it was very unnecessary and convoluted for no reason. It wasn't challenging or anything, but I thought it was very tedious. This game had several sections where I felt they were just padding the time to make the game longer, but this was the worst offender. Once making it through the facility, we find the Hollow Lady again, and she explains to us that there's some sort of hidden code within the DNA of any form of life, human, alien, or otherwise, that ties everything together, making us all the same or something. Once our explanation is over, we get the Code of Life achievement pop. Continuing on through the facility, we come upon this puzzle where we have to move this specimen to the right spot. The puzzles in this game were the easiest things in the world and were just boring and bland. Solving this puzzle unlocked the A Healthy Mind achievement for solving all the puzzles in the game. I'm a genius. Hold your applause, please. Still trapped in this god-awful facility, we keep trekking forward and find this terminal where we learn that Kate has some sort of special status. She can die and respawn and doesn't suffer any consequences. Upon learning this information, the control variable achieve pops. Roaming around searching everywhere, I purchased and stacked up enough points to purchase one of the tier 4 abilities, and once buying one of them, we get the pop for the Peak Potential achievement. Finally, being out of the facility and navigating another cave system, there's this little green egg bubble on the floor that we scan. Once it's been scanned, we pop the Master Scientist achievement for scanning all unique natural resources. At the bottom of this cave system, we encounter another boss. This boss was fast as hell, but it wasn't too bad or eventful. Once done, the Flesh and Bones achievement pops for defeating the Feliform Cadaver. The cave eventually turns into this snotty flesh pit, and venturing far enough into it, we run into yet another boss. We battle against this weird wormy parasite that teleports us when we hurt it. Taking it down pops the Face the Nightmare achievement for defeating the Neuro Parasite. Then we run into Tamara, a fellow Scar who hasn't been infected or transformed yet, and we talk about our boy Mike, who isn't doing too hot. After speaking with her, there's a gadget on the ground we pick up and earn the Science Wins achievement for crafting all of the gadgets. Heading back to the wreckage of the Hermes with Tamara, we notice Mike is recovering from being transformed, and Tamara wants us to stay with her and be safe. We obviously sneak out while she's asleep. Now we have to head back through areas we've already been to. Teleporting to a location, Hollow Lady opens a door for us, and right inside is a weapon attachment. Finding that gets us the Destructive Tool Collection achievement pop for crafting all weapons. Traveling back through each area of the game, peppered with a few new offshoots we couldn't access before, we set up everything for the end game. Along the way, we knock out a few more of the Chiefs. We activated the final pillar, unlocking the Worlds Without End achievement. Scanned the last hostile creature and got the Scientific Collection Chief. Found another weapon upgrade and popped the Applied Science achievement. And I'm elated to tell you we found enough knowledge cubes to purchase all of the ability points to earn the Masterclass achievement pop. Toward the end of the game, the Hollow Lady leads us to a corpse of one of her kind, and lore dumps on us for a few minutes. After she's done, the I just wanted you to see her achievement pops. Now it's time to take on the Custodian, the final boss of the game. We battle off against the Omega, and upon taking it down, we pop the Omega achievement for defeating the Omega and the Custodian. Once that's done, we run through a few cutscenes and unlock the final achievement, We Are Scars, for completing the game. I did not stick around for the credits, and if you blinked, you missed me exiting the game. I could not get out of this game fast enough. But that's it. All Scars Above achievements in the bag. This game was miserable. I did not have a good time with this title at all. The story didn't grasp me in the slightest. It somehow felt very convoluted and also extremely generic at the same time. The combat had a good premise. Different elements to take on different foes in various environments. That's a good idea. However, I felt it was executed poorly. I barely used the ice ammo aside from creating platforms. Once upgraded enough, you can pretty much just use whatever element you want on any enemy. The gadgets you get throughout the game almost make the combat seem like a chore because they're so OP. They take what would have been something possibly challenging and just nerf it into damn near non-existence. The hitboxes for enemy attacks were wildly large, it seemed, and the iframes during a dodge roll decided whether or not they wanted to be there. Traversal felt clunky and stiff a lot of the time as well. The achievements were also a pile of sun-baked garbage. Half of them didn't feel rewarding to pop because it took what would have been a collectible and just shoved it into a cutscene, or it felt like some of them just popped way too prematurely. Anything this game tried to do off of a neat idea just felt half-baked and poorly executed. It felt like something was missing and I couldn't put my finger on it. It almost resembles a game that was entirely crafted by AI with a human somewhere in the room watching. This game was a miss. Skip this game. Skip. It's an easy 100%, but just play something else, dude. But it's over with. Another 100% in the books. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I appreciate you endlessly. If you've played this, let me know what you thought down in the comments. Hit that like button for me, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. Thank you again, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in another video. Smooches.